One iced coffee?
99 cents, please.
For real? No way. One iced coffee?
99 cents, please.
For real? No way. What a deal.
Your new morning groove. Iced coffee from McDonald's, any size for just 99 cents till 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Few things are as uplifting as the greatest moments in sports. And nothing brings us together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, we're not just watching, we're cheering together. This winter, we're all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
This episode of Phillies Therapy was executive produced by Adam D., Andrew C., Andrew G., Joe M., Mary R., and Owen S. Thank you all for your support. To learn more about how you can support Phillies Therapy, be an executive producer, or just join our community over on Discord, go to patreon.com/Phillies Therapy. All right, on to the show. Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, fanatics of all ages, to the 2026 Major League Baseball season. That's right, the New York Yankees and San Francisco Giants kick things off tonight, and your Philadelphia Phillies get things started tomorrow with a home opener against the Texas Rangers. And I'm excited. I'm ready. This spring went by mercifully, quicker than the last couple of springs for me. And this is a season that I am just looking forward to enjoying. As long as I can put off the craziness and insanity that is going to be next winter, I will do it. And I will use this season as a distraction to its fullest potential. And thankfully, not a lot of teams can claim this. The team that I'm rooting for should be good this year. So it should be an actual chance to watch another playoff push, another pennant chase, and another shot with this core to get that elusive World Series title. They have as good a shot as any team in the league. I'll stand by that. They might not finish with the most wins, but they are one of just a handful of true legitimate contending teams here as we start this season. And so what we're going to do here at the outset of this season is my co-host, Matt Gelb, Phillies beat writer of The Athletic, and I are going to go over, as we always do, a few of our season prediction props. We've got a sample that we're going to pull out, and you can get the full list and enter a Discord contest by joining our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Phillies Therapy. There will be prizes that I can't technically give away through Patreon, so I'm saying it's a Discord giveaway.
26 props.
Yeah, 26 props.
The lines made by me. So
yes, they're custom. You can't get these anywhere else. You can't get these at a book. This is the Gelb book. And so what we're going to do here as our de facto season preview, and this is probably just going to go off on a bunch of tangents. You've listened to this show. You know what we're about. Where we're going to have 5, well, I guess I'll call it 6 because one's a combo. We're going to go over 6 of our 26 props. See what you all think. Happy to hear what you all think. And if you want to get access to the full list, you know where to go. Patreon.com/Phillies Therapy. And we're going to have tangents. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. Because this team should be good, but it's not without its flaws. It's not without its competitors. It's not without its hurdles to overcome. You've heard us talk about these all offseason. We're going to get started here first by me reintroducing my co-host and welcoming him in. Matt, this is your 16th season with the team. Do we count your little hiatus where you were on a more general beat here? Do we keep the streak alive? Yeah. So this is season number 16 for you, yeah?
I think I should count, but yes, I think so.
Yeah, okay. Does it still feel as fresh and novel as it did in the early 2010s?
It does, yeah. And
good.
I know most people think that I'm a miserable human being, but I'm not. No, I'm excited for the season. I mean, I think what I'm excited for is that we talked about it numerous times. It wasn't the most, even going into spring training, it's like not the most dramatic or climactic sort of spring. And yes, there were things here and there that were, interesting, but this was a team that, really wasn't designed to be interesting until the season truly starts. And beginning Thursday afternoon, there's going to be a lot to think about and talk about and write about this team. And I'm really excited because I think however it goes, it will be interesting.
Yeah, I can't help but agree. This is an interesting team. It's full of interesting, captivating players, even without the Nick Castellanos thing hanging over us anymore. There are many reasons to be excited. There are many reasons to think that this is a team that can rather easily challenge 90 wins again throughout this regular season, in part because they're good, and also in part because the rest of the league is not as good, and they will have chances to beat up on those teams, you hope. Matt, I think to get started, let's just very quickly take a look back at the offseason that was. Obviously, the Phillies made a couple of additions, the likes of which were not quite on the same level as off seasons past. You can say Kyle Schwarber, of course, being brought back in as a free agent, but he was with this team for a few years, and the reunion with him was always sort of expected. JT Realmuto in the same way. He comes back on a 3-year deal. Schwarber, of course, got a 5-year deal. Brad Keller and Adolis Garcia were the other big free agent acquisitions. Keller signed to a 2-year deal after his breakout in the bullpen with the Cubs, and Garcia, following his time with the Texas Rangers, agreed to a 1-year deal to plug the hole, so to speak, out in right field. There were other moves, of course, the Christopher Sanchez extension, the new Christopher Sanchez extension, Jesus Luzardo agreeing to a new contract as well earlier in March to stay with the Phillies. Jose Alvarado will be back for 1 more year after his club option was exercised. Basically, this is, as we all know, a lot of the same pieces from last year, but there will be an infusion of new blood, starting with the opening day center fielder, not officially yet announced, but will be tomorrow, Justin Crawford, who will make his major league debut on opening day, starting.
Actually, they have to have the rosters in Wednesday because there is a Netflix opening night.
Oh,
every team in the league needs to have its roster submitted. I don't know what time, maybe noon on Wednesday, which is, about 90 minutes from where we're recording. But yes, Netflix opening night.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Today is technically, as the league calendar works, the championship season is beginning today.
Wonderful. Okay, so there you go. So Justin Crawford will be on this team. Andrew Painter will be on this team and make his major league debut during the first week of the season.
Fifth game.
There are reasons to be excited. You got a lot of the same guys, but you'll also have an infusion of new blood. And this is a team that we expect to win a lot of games. As a function of that, more than just the win total, what we do every year is Matt comes up, as we mentioned, with a list of prop bets, a list of over-unders, a list of things to make us think a little bit deeper about what might happen during the 2026 Major League Baseball season. And so what we've done is we've taken a selection of these that Matt and I are going to go over, we're going to discuss, we're going to see why we think what we think with regard to the over or the under. There are no pushes. We don't sit on the fence here. This is what we do. We go bold or we go home. So let's get into it. Matt, you took the time to put a list of 26 props together, and you and I came up with a list of 6. And we're going to start at the top with a guy who had an interesting offseason, despite not really having anything different contractually, despite not having anything.
That's a word for it.
Well, I guess you could say controversial in one way, but it was a little bit manufactured. Either way, it was a little bit strange. It was a little bit of an interesting offseason. It wasn't an elite offseason for him, we'll put it that way. But Bryce Harper comes back to the Phillies. He is officially more than halfway through his 13-year deal with the team, which is ludicrous to say. He's entering his mid-30s, which is also crazy to say because he's somebody you feel like is just 25 or 26 in this game forever. Here he is, entering his mid-30s and with something to prove, weirdly enough. He had a big moment in the World Baseball Classic, the game-tying home run in the 8th inning of the final. But there are questions about what he might do during this major league season. At times, he looked a little bit disconnected last year. He was questioned by his own president of baseball operations, such as it was. But he's a 2-time MVP. He is still the focal point of this offense. He will be batting third in the lineup for the foreseeable future. Matt, we have 2 particular props regarding Bryce Harper that I wanted to combine into one talking point here for us. And on the sheet, you have Bryce Harper's home run total at 27.5 for over-under, and walk total, which fairly recently became a thing and a target for him, at 92.5. He has set a target of about 140 walks, which I don't think anybody expects to actually happen. So we've gone 92.5, which is still a huge number and would be the most he's had since his third year with the team back in 2021, where he hit
MVP
100. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt, let's start with you on this. With Harper at 27.5 homers and 92.5 walks, where do you come in on this for Bryce?
I'm going to go under homers and over walks. The under homers, I think it's going to be, it's going to be right there. Like I think he hits in the high 20s, and I'll say he just duplicates last year, which was 27.
Okay.
And I think there's going to be walks. I don't know that he's going to get to 100. He's gotten to 100 walks 4 different times in his career. I think it's possible. I do. I certainly don't think he's going to get to 140 like he laid out in spring training. That is a no. But I think that number 100 I think it's in his head. Okay. And I think as long as that number is in his head, I think he's in a good place, because we've seen this, Paul. Like when Bryce Harper feels like he has to do everything, it's not the best version of him. And I think you have a guy who has been made aware, and he didn't need to be made aware, but I think this spring and this offseason, I think this was part of the conversation with Kevin Long specifically, was that you need to stop swinging at the first pitch all the time. And I think the more advantageous counts he gets into, I feel like you're going to see a guy who has a better feel for where he should be in the strike zone. And I think it's going to lead to more walks. Is he going to get to 100? I don't think so, but I set the line at 92.5, and I'm taking you over there.
Yeah. I like the idea that Bryce Harper still has the pop in his bat to hit 30. So that's why I went over on this.
Certainly.
And I think a lot of this also comes down to his availability, right? Like he hit 27 last year. He missed a month.
Yep.
He hit 30 and 24. He missed 2 weeks.
Yep.
And in 22 and 23, he missed a lot of time. Obviously, one of those.
Oh, how many games do you think how many games is he going to play this year? I mean, that factors into how you think about these props. And Bryce has missed time, in each of the last 4 seasons.
Yeah. So I actually, though, think he's going to be very available this year. I'm seeing that games played number, over 130 again. I'd like for it to be over 140. And I think he's got a little bit left to show that he's still an upper tier power hitter. So I'll say the home run total starts with a 3.
Okay.
The walks thing, though, I really like the idea that there's going to be a course correction here, because last year really frustrated me and a lot of other people when you see him go up and you just felt in your bones that he was just going to swing no matter what the pitch was, which was weird for him. Like that is not something we had come to expect from him at the plate. That just wasn't a thing, and it became a thing, and it was strange. So I'm glad to see that some attention and I think some commitment, apparently, is going to be put toward changing that. And he doesn't need to swing that much at the first. He doesn't need to let everybody know that that's what's happening here. Like I get the philosophy of the first pitch might be the best one he sees. It became less often the case last year when everybody realized he was just going to swing. If it was somewhat close, he was going to swing. So I like the idea that he'll be more patient, more selective, selectively aggressive, I think is the term I have liked to use with him. I would like to see it hit 80 something. I don't see it going into the 90s or 100. Would it be great? Yeah, sure, because that probably means an on base in the 380 range or something like that, which is terrific. I think it'll be a lot and more than last year, but I don't think it'll be 93.
Yeah. Can he get to an on base that starts with a 4?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Because I think he might.
Yeah. That's well within the realm of possibility for me. Absolutely.
And I think if he sacrifices just a little bit of power, maybe, maybe in some of those advantageous counts, he's just a little more selective. If he's able to be patient early in the count, and a lot of this, Paul, will frankly depend on how whoever is going behind him is doing, right? Because I do think that there is a relation there. These are closely related here. If Harper feels like either Garcia or Bohm or Stott or whoever is behind him can do the job, I think he's more willing to be to not expand, and that's going to be a huge part of the narrative of the season, of Harper's season, and of the Phillies season, is it not?
Yeah, the question it turns into for me is, can both of these things still coexist in his game? Can he have power while also having that patience? Because you look at his numbers.
Yes,
he's gone
past.
Yeah, he's gone 30 homers and 100 walks in 3 seasons in his career, and 2 of those seasons he's won MVP.
Yeah,
the other one was his final year with Washington, where
if you think he's going to win the MVP, or if you think he's going to be a top 5, top 3 MVP candidate, then yes, you're looking at a home run total that starts with a 3 and an on base that's probably starts with a 4.
Yeah. Which is still possible for him. Even, age 33 season, I get that. Okay, sure. He's still got it. He's not approaching Cook territory. Like, there's a difference between, quote, not elite and on the downslope of his career.
Well, okay,
right?
So what do you think is more likely, that he goes over or under both of these, or that he splits it? You know what I'm saying? Is that does he have the high home run, high walk totals? Does he have one or the other? Are they related? Like, what is the likeliest outcome, you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of why I'm splitting here, because I think it's going to be a higher power, lower walk season.
Yeah.
I just see it going that way. But I don't see any combination of those, whether it's one or the other with homers or walks, or both over, as more or less likely than the other. I think it's unlikely that they're both under, because I think he'll be available and I think he'll still have the power to put up a big home run total.
Fair.
It's an optimistic look, but it's what I think, I'm expecting out of him this year.
All right, what do you got next?
Yeah, so what do we got next? The second one up is focusing on one of those rookies. Justin Crawford will make his major league debut. He will start in center field. He will bat 9th, almost certainly. And so we're taking a look at a particular...
LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't predict the future, but it can help you feel confident about future hires. Because Hiring Pro combines real-time insights and candidate data from the LinkedIn network with the criteria you've set for your role to deliver you a list of top-fit candidates. Businesses who use LinkedIn are 24% less likely to reopen a role in the next 12 months. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/Pandora.
Few things are as uplifting as the greatest moments in sports. And nothing brings us together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, we're not just watching, we're cheering together. This winter, we're all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay, where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Really interesting part of Justin Crawford's game. That, of course, is his much ballyhooed speed, and we saw that on display at times during spring training in the Grapefruit League this year. The Phillies only had 130 stolen base guy last year, and that was Trey Turner, who went 36 for 43. Justin Crawford emerges as the next most likely guy to do that for this team. He's certainly got the wheels to accomplish it. And so, Matt, you have set a stolen baseline, and that over-under line is 21.5 stolen bases this year for Justin Crawford. I'll start with you again. Where do you come down on this line?
I'll go under. I think the initial feedback from our participants is that this line is shaded too low. I get that. I also think that batting ninth plays a factor into why I'm going under, is that while he certainly has the capability of stealing way more than 21.5 bags, I think there will be times maybe where he has to show a little restraint, because he's got the big boys batting behind him. Certainly there will be opportunities for him to take an extra bag, try to get in scoring position for Turner or Harper or Schwarber. But I also think there might be times where he might not get the green light because you don't want to now all of a sudden open a bag and maybe then they put Schwarber on or they put Harper on intentionally.
It's a great point.
So I've got him under, and also, we're not sure. We think that Justin Crawford's going to be their everyday center fielder for the entire season. I can't say that. There's got to be a percent outcome where he's either gets platooned or he ends up not being good enough to be the everyday guy for a while, or he has to go to the minors for a bit. I think that's certainly within the realm of possibility. It's not a likelihood, but I think it certainly has to factor into how you look at this prop.
Yeah, your logic is really strong there because there is a lot of risk going in toward this.
But you're
line.
just gonna be like, you screw your logic. You're gonna say
I'm gonna say over.
Run.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say over. I mean,
how many do you think he has?
I think it starts with 3, maybe in the low.
Wow.
3s. Yeah, I think he's gonna do it. I mean, you make an excellent point about his position in the order and the situations where he's going to be most likely permitted to make an attempt. Right. Probably has to be a right-handed pitcher for right on right against Turner at the top of the order or whoever's batting there at the time. Base has to be open in front of him, although the Phillies do like to do double steals. We'll see exactly how that plays out. There are things working against him situationally that way. And he has to get on base in order to attempt the steal, right? That's also
correct.
I just think the power of the tool plus my expectation that he's going to be good enough to hang in there for most of this season is going to push him over. Maybe starting with a 3 is a little too optimistic. Maybe 25 is probably closer to what I could expect, but I think it's going to be over 21.5. I think he's just really quick. Look, even if he doesn't put up the stolen base number, I'm really looking forward to him causing problems for other teams on the base paths in general. I'm talking first to homes on doubles, lots of extra bases taken if he doesn't have a guy in front of him. I just think this is going to be an impact. I'd like to see it manifest in steals. Doesn't have to, but I'll be optimistic and say it's going to be over 21.5 there.
Sure. And so in 2024, Johan Rojas had 25 stolen bases. 22 of them, it looks like, if I have this right, were with him batting ninth.
Okay.
Now, I'll say, I'm looking at the last 30 years. And if you're batting ninth, you don't steal a lot of bases. I mean, right now I see 9 guys in the last 30 years who had more than 22 steals batting ninth. And obviously, you got to bat ninth a lot to you got to bat ninth for the entire year, basically, to make this leaderboard that I've created. But we do think that, it's hard to imagine a Crawford bats anywhere else, right? For most of the
certainly
season,
for the start of the year. Yeah. And it's going to be hard for him to break in at a higher position, just given who's ahead of him and the offensive profiles. Like somebody will have to get hurt, probably.
Yeah. Billy Hamilton's on here twice.
Of course. Sliding Billy.
No, the more recent.
Yeah, I know. The Reds outfielder. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like that, Victor Scott last year had 25 bags, from the 9 spot. Jacob Young did it 2 years ago. So it's not impossible. But I mean, I think situationally,
they all happen to be center fielders too, for what it's worth.
It's true. Most of these guys are center fielders. Yeah. Interesting. Cliff Pennington.
Oh, A's legend, Cliff Pennington. Wow.
So I think I totally buy your side of it. I'll just be on a little conservative side here, I guess.
The next one we have on our list is interesting. This is a versus. This is a head-to-head put into a single prop here, competing stats, as it were. And I think this was fascinating. And when I saw your list, I really wanted to pull this one out and talk about it. You have another one like it within the list too for Patreon members, which I will not tell you because that's a secret just for our little cool kids club. But the one I do want to talk about pits Taijuan Walker against Alec Bohm. 2 guys entering their walk years with the Phillies. This will be the last season, both of them most likely puts on Phillies pinstripes. And so we think about pitcher versus hitter here. Taijuan Walker games started or Alec Bohm home runs. This is fascinating to me, Matt.
Which is higher?
Which is higher. Taijuan Walker games started or Alec Bohm home runs. Where do you come down on this? Because I'm really interested in thinking, hearing what your logic is.
I think it's Walker game started. And I think he starts something like 18 games.
Really? Okay.
And Bohm has like 16 home runs, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I actually was like, this came from a friend of the pod. I won't name who it was who gave me this idea. And I did a laughed out loud when he sent it to me because I loved it. Because this is, I don't know, this might be the toughest one on the sheet that I did.
It's so good. It's so good.
Because Walker, again, remember, we've talked all spring about how the Phillies really don't have a ton of starting pitching depth. And even if Zack Wheeler does return, in the 3rd week of April, somewhere around there, Walker likely goes to the bullpen. And if there's another injury or ineffectiveness, Walker's going to be the guy. I mean, there's really not a lot of other guys to step in. And so this is more a play for me, less fading Bohm and more about, I just think that they're going to need Walker at numerous times throughout the season to be in their rotation because of the lack of depth elsewhere. And because you just can't assume that all 5 of your starting pitchers are going to be, making 32 starts or 30 starts this season. That's such a hard thing to bank on or think is going to happen going into a season. So give me Walker. I mean, maybe both ends up starting with a 2. I mean, it might be a problem for the Phillies if Taijuan Walker has 20 starts this year. Is it? He made 21 starts last year.
He did.
He did. He did. I can't wait to track this as the season goes. I feel like it's going to be so much fun.
Oh man. Look, I'm going with Bohm home runs on this one because I'm buying into a couple of things. One starts with Bohm himself coming into his free agent year. Not taking away too much of an impression from spring at bats, plate appearances, and approach, but he was hitting the ball harder. He does seem like a guy who could put up a big career year. For him coming into a free agent platform.
So and that's the argument for Bohm here is that you just think he's going to, however much they need Ty Walker, it doesn't matter. Bohm's going to have a monster year.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both because I don't think Bohm is going to hit 20 again, which he has done once, obviously back in 23. I think he's going to hit in the high teens. I think Painter's going to do enough and stay healthy enough to take up a good chunk of the starts that you hope he makes as a member of this rotation. I love the idea that Zack Wheeler is now pushing to be back in mid to late April. And I feel
mid.
Yeah, it's ludicrous. I feel like I keep having to couch myself with that language just because it's happening and accelerating so fast for me. And I don't think he would come back if he wasn't feeling good and the team didn't feel like he could resume something close to his normal workload, right? Like I have that faith in the training staff. So I think those combinations of thoughts, beliefs are going to combine to keep Walker's starts suppressed.
Okay.
He'll take a couple turns early on, sure. Yes, he will be called in as needed when, not if, but when injury and effectiveness surface. But I think there will be enough there to keep the high teens Bohm home run total above that game started total. I think it'll probably end up being something like 18 to 14, 18 to 13, something like that, with Bohm homers winning the day. And that's just what takes it. It requires, I think, a little bit more optimism that Bohm is going to be closer to what he was 3 years ago. But I have it. I think he's going to put up a good year. I do. And give it, end on a high note, so to speak, with the Phillies. Give it one last hurrah.
All right. Can't wait to follow this one.
It is tough to follow this one, but in a way it's linked, right? We just talked about it. This is one aspect that will play into Taijuan Walker's starting availability. Much like Justin Crawford, he will be making his major league debut in the first week of Phillies games. It is Andrew Painter, of course. And we have a game started total for him at 23 and a half. Now, that's a lot for a rookie season.
This was a tough number to make.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah. 23. And it also implies, a comfortable 110, 120 innings at the major league level.
That I think is not going to be, the innings are not going to be an issue this year.
Okay.
I mean, he got up past 100 last year, did he not?
Yeah. I just mean at the major league level.
Sure.
Either way, that's getting a little bit too fine about it. So 23 and a half games started for Painter. Where did you come down on this?
Over, but not by a lot. I mean, like I'm probably got, let's say it's 24 and it matches his uniform number.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
For it to be under 23 and a half, it would have to be some real ineffectiveness from him. And I do believe that he is going to be a competent back of the rotation major league pitcher in 2026. Maybe not a guy who wins rookie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's enough there that this is someone who maybe he gets a break here and there, but who's able to make 24 to 25-ish starts and just get over this number that I made. But I don't have a lot of confidence in that. Like, what's your, I mean, what?
What's my what?
How differently do you feel about Painter now than you did 7 weeks ago? Do you feel differently at all?
A bit, yes, in the positive. I feel a bit more positive after getting a look at him during the spring. I'm still unsure about him and what he'll bring in his rookie year. I've said this a couple of times, probably inelegantly, but I just think the first year might be a little bit tough for him in his current state. Not quite the pitcher he was 3 years ago, but definitely showing flashes of it. But
okay,
I think
so
he
if he
still
goes
build towards something bigger.
Okay, so if you have him going under here, which you do, 23 and a half, you have under 23 and a half.
Yes.
Why is it going to go under?
It's going to go under, I think, for reasons that are divorced from his effectiveness. I think it is going to be a management situation. And I can't tell you exactly what that looks like, right? I don't know. This is a guess, right? All of this is a guess, but this is especially a guess because last year in the minors, he did make 26 starts and put up 118 innings, right? That is well clear of 23 and a half. I can think both at the same time, he is going to be effective enough to make it work, but also that he just won't make that many turns. Maybe it ends up being close, like 21, 22, or even 23 just under the line.
I mean, if he doesn't get to 20 starts, something bad has happened.
I agree with that. That's why I think it's going to start with a 2. I just imagine there being, and maybe this takes the form of a load management option in the middle of the year. I don't know that yet. Maybe that's probably not what they want to do. Maybe it is. We'll see.
I mean, he got to about one. He had 118 last year. I mean, there's real room for growth. You know, I mean, even if you're adding on 50 innings there, I mean, he could I don't think the innings are going to be an issue.
Okay. Well, that's good, and probably takes a bite out of how likely I think the under is. I just look at that number and I don't, maybe it's just a little bit too paradoxical in my mind that I think he can both be effective enough to last most of the year, just to have his effectiveness warrant the roster spot, but think that the game start total is going to be under this 23.5. Maybe
Fair.
both of those things can't be true. And I just don't know which one has to yield yet. ... Like I just don't. I'm coming to these grips now as I think about it. Because I would like for all of that to be true, right? I would like for him to have the effectiveness. I would like for him to have the health.
I think part of this too is that, like, I think in a perfect world for them, they're not having to manage him during the season thinking that they need to have starters innings for him in the playoffs.
Okay.
Because in the perfect world, he is not starting in the playoffs and he is some sort of bullpen weapon, right?
Agree. Yes, absolutely.
Now, we all know that shit happens and, it's very hard to project that far out, but I do think that that's, it doesn't have to enter their mind. We're like, well, we got to make sure we have, for right now, as it is with everyone healthy, we don't have to make sure that we have starters innings for him in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, at best, he'd be like an opener of sorts, I can envision, because he would be their fifth option to start a playoff game if everybody's healthy.
Maybe he pitches well enough that he's the third or fourth option.
Maybe. He could lap Aaron Nola in that to be option.
Possibly. Yeah.
I mean, Nola opened the door with how he was last year. I think Nola's going to be better this year, but he certainly opened the door to the possibility.
100%. 100%.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to work through which of those things I think needs to yield, because right now I don't think what's coexisting in my mind can coexist in real life. So we'll see how that goes. Next up and last up for our little preview here of these props, that's doubling as a season preview. In his first full season with the Philadelphia Phillies, the Durantula himself, Jhoan Duran, who was acquired last summer for Mick Abel and Eduardo Tait from the Minnesota Twins. He's really good. He's really, really good. And more than that, the team has said that he is going to assume a closer's role. Now, this is a bit of a change from the last couple of years of bullpen management. A little bit. Where now we're going in with an expectation that Jhoan Duran is going to be the guy to take the mound in the ninth inning or later in a save situation. Sometimes ties, sometimes to get his work in, et cetera, et cetera. But he is going to get the bulk of the save situations. And for a team whose offense has question marks, but whose pitching is very good, it's entirely possible that there are a lot of close games that Duran will be called on to save. And so you've put a Duran saves number in here at 32.5, which I find very interesting. I think the last Phillies pitcher to have 30 saves was still Jomar Gomez.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is
El Gran Yo Soy.
Oh boy, which is, a statistic. Combined between the Twins and the Phillies last year, Duran picked up 32 saves, 16 with each.
I have a stat for you.
Oh, do you? What do you got?
With the Venmo debit card, a taco in one hand, and ordering a ride in the other, means you're stacking your rewards. Nice. Get up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash on your favorite brands when you pay with your Venmo debit card. From takeout to rideshares, entertainment, and more. Pick a bundle with your go-tos and start earning cash back at those brands. Venmo Stash bundle terms and exclusions apply. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms. Max $100 cash back per month.
Few things are as uplifting as the greatest moments in sports. And nothing brings us together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, we're not just watching, we're cheering together. This winter, we're all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
Spring starts at the Home Depot, and we are bringing the heat to your backyard this season. Fire up the flavor with our wide variety of grills for under $300, like the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill that's perfect for hosting your spring cookout. Then set the scene and turn your outdoor space into the go-to spot with patio sets for every budget. Bring it this season with grills that deliver flavor and patios that set the vibe from the Home Depot. Start your spring with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Hiring isn't just filling a role. It's about finding people who can drive results. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you match with the right candidates faster. Target candidates by skills, certifications, or location. Join the 3.3 million employers worldwide that use Indeed to connect with quality talent that fits their needs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Do it the right way with Indeed.
Last year, as a team, the Phillies had 47 saves. Does that seem like a lot?
For a team, no.
That is the second most saves that they've ever had in a season as a team.
Really?
In 1987, they had 48 saves as a team. I'm just going to give you the last few years. I don't know. The last few years, they had 47 saves in 25, 37 in 2024, 45 in 2023, 42 in 2022, and 36 in 2021.
Huh. Okay.
So 47 was a lot last year.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, Duran between both teams last year picked up 32. I think we're both. I'm going to go over here, but I don't know. I think he'll get to 30.
Oh, for
sure.
But
I don't know that they're going to play as many close games.
Really?
As last year.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean,
And
in a way
that will affect how many saves Duran gets. I think I'm gonna go over just slightly though.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna get to 30. I don't think he's gonna get to the Gene Mar number.
Wow. Okay. Again, that's not a knock on Duran's season. It's a situational stat, right? Like you need to have the circumstances to get there.
Genmar had 37 in 2016. Truly amazing. That's one of the all-time hilarious reliever seasons by Philly. His ERA, by the way, is 4.85.
Maybe that's why I'm so thrown, because I maybe it's an old mindset that I have where a team leader usually has in the mid 30s, high 30s.
Sure.
And a bunch of other, pitchers cobble a few together. And so I hear 47 or 48 and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's probably not too high. There are other guys to make up for that. But that's not necessarily the case anymore. I think the point you make about not playing as many close games for this team would be good, because how many times did they have a comfortable game? Not
so
a
many.
ton, not an overload, but a good enough number where they were winning by a lot and let the game get close because they had bad mop-up work. Like, if that happened a lot, it felt like it happened once a week sometimes, definitely multiple times each month.
Do you know how many guys had 30 saves last year in the league?
Oh, that's a dwindling number. How many?
8.
Less than a third of the teams had a 30 save closer. That's impressive.
Do you know how many guys had more than 32 and a half?
How many?
4.
Wow. Okay. So half inhabited that little 30 to 32 plateau in there.
So
right.
a play on the over here is, you're saying that Jhoan Duran is one of the best closers in baseball, and he's pitching for one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a crazy bet.
I don't either. That's why I agree with you. And I also have over. I think the number is going to be higher. I think this is a guy, I believe in the close games persisting maybe a little bit more, whether for good or ill. Hopefully it involves more comebacks than it does letting leads slip away. But this is a guy who's clearly just an absurdly quality arm. Do I think he's going to have 27 strikeouts to 1 walk per every 20 innings? Maybe not exactly. But this is a guy who, even when the ball does get put in play, it's a ground ball. like 70% of the time it's a ground ball. It's crazy, which is the kind of contact you want.
The sticking image of him is the bases loaded walk in the playoffs, but it does unfortunately shroud the fact that when he pitched for the Phillies last year, it was amazing, right? I mean, like it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a hiccup here and there, but I mean, most of the time it was just utter dominance.
Yeah. The postseason performance, the walk totals were unusual, even with the one intentional. And I don't think that's the takeaway. I think having the guy who, is the 4 point, whatever strikeout to walk guy or better is what you're going to get during the regular season. He has regularly made in the high 50s in appearances, making 72 last year between the two teams. Maybe fatigue played a little part of that playoff run, but he's dependable. He's been dependable. He'll get the situations. He'll get the ball. He'll pitch in those games. He'll probably have, 60 games finished, something in that area, 50 to 60 games finished. And it's not unreasonable to think 35 to 40 of those could result in converted saves. I just think the quality of the arm in the situations that they're telegraphing is really good math to beat this number of 32.5.
Do you know who has the all-time Phillies record for saves in a season? Do you know that?
Is it Papelbon?
No.
Who is it?
In a season, not a career, a season, a single season.
No, who is it?
Jose Mesa had 45 in 2002.
Oh, no kidding. Oh,
yes.
Man.
I mean, until Papelbon, Mesa had the franchise record for career saves as well.
Wow.
The Phillies have had 5 40-save seasons. Mesa, Williams in 93, Mesa again in 01, Lidge in 08, of course, and Steve Bedrosian in 87 when he won Cy Young.
Bedrock. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I think Duran has a really good shot at joining that club this year. I really do. Combination of quality team situations he'll be in, his availability, health and durability wise throughout his career.
He does pitch a lot of games.
He does pitch a lot of games. I think this is his moment to get into that territory.
All right.
Cool. All right. So those are some over-unders. If you want the full list, there are 20 more of those that you can pick and enter into a contest for
including a Nick Castellanos one.
Of who? Of course, there is the opportunity to have some fun along the way with this. We're looking forward to, making things a little bit more incentivized for those of you who join the Patreon community this year. We'll do what we can. We want to make this season fun. That's what we're all about.
I don't need any prizes to make it fun.
Well, you're not a materialist like me, and that's good. That's virtuous. We do have some cool stuff lined up, even apart from giving away things to you out there, our lovely listeners. It's just all going to make for a good season. Matt, I think if we take a step back now, divorce ourselves from, I've used the word divorce.
You going to ask me how many games they're going to win?
I am, because we always end these little prop discussions with what we think that ultimately important number is going to be. They won 96 last year. They won 95 the year before. They won the division comfortably. Matt, what's it going to be this year? What do you see? What are the Phillies going to do? What is that win total going to be?
91, and they still win the division.
Okay.
The East is, I don't know. How many wins do you think it's going to take to win the East? What do you got them at? You got them winning the division again?
Well, I also have them at 91. Exactly. Like that's the number in my head. I know, boring. I need to see how good the Mets actually are. They've added some very interesting players. I don't know how much I believe in how good they are yet. I don't know if they did enough on the pitching side to make it all work. They're good. They're going to be a problem. They're going to be in competition for this division. Absolutely. But man, I think there's a really good chance that they're just not as good as the sum of their parts. And the Braves' injuries are going to set them back to start the year. I can't help but think that. And that might just be too much ground for them to make up as the season goes. The Marlins are pests, but they're not serious division title contenders. And the Nationals are going to be bad. So I think a low 90s win total could do it for sure. I think it takes I'll say 92 or 93 if the Mets are going to be good and win the division, they're going to need 93. The
So
Phillies
you've
could
got
win it
them
with
at
91.
91, and just like me, you have 91 in winning division. We did not take notes about this before.
No, we didn't. I think it's more likely the Phillies win the division than not. I know a lot of likelihoods and models have them as sometimes
I'd say
best
it's like
third likely, but
yeah, I mean, I've got them slightly better than 50% chance to win the division, I would say.
yeah, I think that's where
Like
I'm at, too.
slightly. I mean, I think, yeah. I probably would have had them under 50%, but the Brave spring has to you have to recalculate a little bit.
It's so
related
bad
to the division. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Not just with the injuries, but losing Profar for a full year. Like that's
correct.
There's a lot of bad stuff happening. It's a cursed spring, burial ground type spring.
Which means they'll get off to a hot start. But
of course they do. They're the Braves. They're annoying. But the Phillies are going to be good this year. I think the bottom line is we can expect another successful regular season. High 80s to low 90s wins. Definitely in playoff position because the rest of the National League does not impress me apart from a couple of teams. Just really doesn't impress me much at all. Sorry,
you're not on the Pirates. Everybody's on the Pirates.
I don't know why. I look, Paul Skeens is otherworldly.
Give me your division. What do you got? Give me your. We didn't practice. Give me your 6 National League playoff teams. What do you got?
All right. So if I stick with this, I have the Phillies and Mets coming out of the East, regardless of what order they fit in. I have the Cubs coming out of the Central just because the Central's not good. Milwaukee winning 97 last year is just not going to be repeated. The Cubs are good. They lost Kyle Tucker, yes, but they've still got enough talent there to win that division. It'll be interesting. It won't be as bad as the AL Central, but it'll be interesting to watch the NL Central. I'll come back to that. I'm not sure if I have a second team coming out of there. The Dodgers, you have to pick out of the West. The Padres, I'll stick with for sure. I don't like the Giants, Diamondbacks, or Rockies enough to be a third team out of the West. So I'll leap in and say the Reds will also make it out of the Central. Just because. Just because. It feels like a little bit more than half of the National League is, on paper for sure, just not doing it for me. Just not at all. I see a number of very bad teams. Each division has at least one punching bag. The Nationals, not going to be good. The Cardinals, not going to be good. The Rockies, well, and there might be more than that too. Yeah, I think it's going to be 2 per division.
Give me division winners. Division winners: Phillies, Cubs, Dodgers. Wild cards are Mets, Braves, Giants. You
think the Braves do enough to get back into playoff position? Well, yeah, they do have the talent for it.
I do.
Maybe I'm overselling how bad the spring was. Maybe it just puts them out of division.
I mean, if I've got them as the third wild card, I mean that requires maybe 85 wins, 86 wins. So
yeah, something like that.
There's a lot of variance in this East.
There is.
Because I mean, you could tell me those 3 teams any order they appear in, and I would say, yeah.
I will say this: I don't think the Dodgers win a 3rd straight World Series. I know that's not necessarily going out on a limb, but they have assembled another really good team. I don't see that happening again. I think we're going to have a new champion this year. Would I like it for it to be my team? Yes. I don't know. I really like the Blue Jays this year. I think they have a fun team, and I would look for them to make another deep run if we're thinking about title contenders.
Give me the Tigers.
Really? Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Can you talk a little more about that?
I like the pitching a lot. And I think Kevin McGonigal is a absolute star, and I think it's the right decision for him to be in the major leagues to start.
I agree with that.
And I I think AJ Hinch is a terrific manager, and I think they're going to get the most out of that team. There's certainly holes. The bullpen is, there's probably 3 too many platoons, but
That's Tiger Ball, baby.
They're a good team.
That's fun. Yeah, good point on McGonigal. He'll be fun to watch. And obviously, if you have Tarek Skubal in your rotation, how much can you count them out?
I mean, it's
cool.
It's a pretty good
That's
rotation.
Cool.
So I don't know. It's a hot take.
No, I like it. I was not expecting it at all. That's a cool pick.
Who knows? I'm so bad at this.
Me too, dude. I think about this every time I sign up for a fantasy league. I'm like, I pretend to know something about this sport, and yet it never, ever manifests in being able to put together a accurate set of predictions of what I think guys are going to do. Never, ever. I couldn't tell you the last time I won a fantasy baseball league. It was probably back when I was in high school.
Can I tell you the last time I played in a fantasy baseball league?
Well, yeah. Yeah. But that's what I think. Either way, whatever the actual numbers end up being, and I do want to win this competition, I just think there's a lot of reason for optimism about this team. That hasn't been the prevailing thought, I think, in many corners of the fan base this winter. I think there are a lot of people who think the team is stale and just has a core of players that, I'll put words in their mouth, can't get it done. And they haven't gotten it done in their playoff runs here. But the talent is there. This is absolutely a championship contending roster. They stay healthy enough. They perform as expected. This collection of players performs as expected, near their career norms. Playoff team, championship aspirations. And there's really no other strong contender for the way I see this season going, unless it all goes off the rails.
Well, either way, I'm happy. I'm excited to discuss it all with you. And we've already gotten 38 responses to our prop sheet on the Discord.
This has been live for like 2 hours, and we're already at 38. That's awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah. But no, I'm super excited for the season because, as you laid out, I think while it is a familiar roster, there's plenty of really intriguing storylines and different ways that this thing can go. And I'm really excited to write and talk and think about it.
Beautiful. I'm excited to read. And all of you out there, hopefully you find the excitement. Enjoy opening night tonight if you want to, with the Yankees and the Giants.
Gotta watch the broadcast because at least for a little bit, because I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah. And yeah, Matt, excited to do this for one more go around, our 5th season.
One more go around. That's it. After this, we're done.
Yeah, it's over. We're going to be part of the next CBA. They're going to write us out. They're tired of us. Our 5th season as Phillies Therapy. Holy crap. This is going to be great.
Savor these 6 months, because after that, we have no idea when they'll play baseball again.
Yeah. Yep. It's gonna be an interesting time, but we'll put that off for as long as we possibly can. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening and being part of this. This has been another episode of Phillies Therapy, part of the Believe Podcast Network. Again, if you want more, we'd love to have you as part of our community. Patreon.com/Phillies Therapy. Love to have you. We'll be talking with you much, much more as the 2026 season unfolds. Opening day, Thursday, March 26th. It's here. We made it. Let's enjoy it one more time. For Matt, I am Paul, and we will talk to you again very soon. This episode of Phillies Therapy was produced by Brian J., Briana W., CallisonGhost, Christopher S., Daniel Y., Hunter R., Ian, Jack S., Jacob, Jaedon M., Jami P., Jason G., Joe M., John S., Kaitlin M., Kodi L., Lindsay, Lisa L., Matt H., Michael W.E.I., Michael W.E.R., Robert R., Timothy G., Tom D., Tom H., Vinay V., Zack, and our anonymous supporters. Thank you all so much for your support. Again, if you'd like to learn more about becoming a supporter of the show, visit patreon.com/Phillies Therapy.
Few things are as uplifting as the greatest moments in sports. And nothing brings us together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, we're not just watching, we're cheering together. This winter, we're all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't clone you, but it can streamline your hiring workflow. From posting jobs to shortlisting candidates to interviewing, LinkedIn Hiring Pro is the hiring partner you need, so you can focus on connecting with the right talent. In fact, small businesses report saving over 6 hours per week. So hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/Pandora.
You do it all. So why not get all the electrolytes? Hydrate better than water with new Gatorade Lower Sugar. Now with no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors, and 75% less sugar than regular Gatorade. New to the fridge, all the Gatorade electrolytes you love. Gatorade Lower Sugar. Is it in you? Now available nationwide.
What's going on? I'm Arch Manning, Viore athlete and college quarterback. Whether I'm running, training, traveling, or just unwinding at home, I love doing it in my core shorts from Viore. With a breathable boxer brief liner, they're quick to dry, super versatile, and stand up to even my most intense training sessions. Plus, they come in 3 inseams and a ton of colors. Ready to try pair? Go to viore.com/arch and get 20% off at checkout. I think you're going to love them as much as I do. That's VUORI.com/ARCH and get 20% off your first order. Exclusions apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Have a great day.
The Bleacher Report app is your destination for sports. Right now, the NBA is heating up, March Madness is here, and MLB is almost back. Every day there's a new headline, a new highlight, a new moment you've got to see for yourself. That's why I stay locked in with the Bleacher Report app. For me, it's about staying connected to my sports. I can follow the teams I care about, get real-time scores, breaking news, and highlights all in one place. Download the Bleacher Report app today so you never miss a moment.